because you can look at this in 3 totally different ways, and every single one of them sucks. Time on the board, A-Hole here. Thank you for joining me as always. And what else could we possibly talk about today? I'm sure when you were either watching it live in America or like myself, you woke up in a different time zone, you saw the Oscars went down, and after a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith walked up to Chris Rock, who was doing the talking, and he slapped the absolute shit out of him.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, straight away, Twitter especially, Twitter's like, oh man, was it fake? Was it like wrestling? Was it a work? And I'm just going to tell you, no, I don't believe it was, because I understand that the Oscars need ratings, but I don't think anybody in TV would go, then Will, what we want you to do is we want you to sit down and we want you to drop 2 F-bombs. That comes with like serious fines. So let's just take that piece of information and put it over there. Now, does it mean that it wasn't done to create some buzz? No. And we're probably never going to go for sure, but I am certainly going to say that, well, I don't buy into that. I don't believe it at all. But you can do with that information whatever you should so wish. And either way, I think there is more important things to talk about because, one, Will Smith won the Best Actor award last night, the Best Acting Oscar, and nobody is talking about that, and that's understandable. But I also think it's kind of a shame because I believe he is only the 5th black male actor ever to win a Best Actor award, and that's what we really should be talking about. I mean, there's clearly a disparity issue there or an inclusivity issue there, but of course we're never going to go to that direction now because the sight of seeing 2 very famous people have somewhat of a scrap, it's crazy, on live television is absolutely nuts. But this is what I want to talk about. Now, like most of these things, everybody goes to the left side or they go to the right side. Nobody ever wants to sit in the middle. That's where I come in. That's where my niche is, because you can look at this in 3 totally different ways and every single one of them sucks. Now, some people are saying that Chris Rock shouldn't have made the joke. Obviously, the joke was about the fact that Jada Pinkett Smith is bald. She has alopecia. But you have to be allowed to make jokes, right? Whatever the joke may be, you have to be allowed to make that joke because free speech is massively important. However, if you do decide to make a joke, you also have to deal with the consequences, right? That's how it works. Say whatever you want, but if you do go too far or you say something you shouldn't have done, be it go to jail or you get fined or somebody punches in your face, and then we can kind of work out, was it the right thing to do, was it the wrong thing to do? But that is the quote-unquote risk you take when you do it. Now, the other part of all of this is alopecia is a serious thing, especially if you are a woman. Now, I can't speak on this directly, obviously, because I am not a woman, but I know even when I was losing my hair, I was freaking out and it affected my self-confidence and it sent me a little bit loopy. So when you double that, when it does come to a female who isn't meant to lose their hair, I can only imagine the mental strain it must put on you. Now, the other problem is what Will Smith did. Now, I'm just not an advocate for violence, unless it's fake violence, a la pro wrestling, which I enjoy doing, hence why my face is all bruised up today, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but don't worry about it. But let's just put it like this. Let's say Will Smith heard this joke, and he did laugh initially, so maybe he, looked at Jada and thought, oh, wait, no, we've crossed the line here. But if he had just walked up to Chris Rock, maybe put a hand on his shoulder and taken the microphone and said, dude, you shouldn't have said that. That was a really, really irresponsible thing to say. Alopecia is a serious disease, and it can do this, and it can do that, and really we need to educate ourselves and be more aware of this stuff. I'm sure Chris Rock would have accepted that. I'm a big fan of Chris Rock, and every time I've ever seen him in an interview or chat about things, he seems like a super honest and transparent dude, and he probably would have gone, you know what, Will, sorry, my bad, shouldn't have done it. They would have walked off, and we would have all felt warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. Then we do get to Will Smith winning his Best Actor award. It's almost like a lovelier moment. I can't even think of the right word, but it's a lovelier moment. That's what I've gone with, because I suppose it just ties into the stuff I talk about a lot. It just puts positivity back into the situation. And I can totally understand a man protecting his wife or a wife protecting her husband, whatever it may be, and walking up and doing something like that. But it's just such a shame that it's overshadowed so much of the things that we should be talking about. And this is why I don't think you can go, well, it's his fault, or it's her fault, or it's that guy's fault, it's that person's fault. We shouldn't have done this, we shouldn't have done that. It's everybody's fault, and it's nobody's fault, depending on how you do want to look at it. And of course, we're not going to agree. And this kind of ties into the bigger debate at the moment about, what you can say and what you can't say. But I don't think that we can just, put it up in a little box and say, oh, here's all the answers, because we just don't know. You've got to take it on a situation by situation occurrence and then almost decide in the moment. And I suppose in that moment, Will Smith's adrenaline hit and he decided, well, I'm going to go smack the shit out of him. And I never think that works. Not in that kind of environment as well, where it's very, hoity-toity probably isn't the right expression, but the Oscars is taken very, very seriously, both by the people that are putting it on, the organisers, and the people that go. Like, you don't have to like it and you don't have to watch it. I know over the last few years, the ratings especially haven't been good, but to win an Oscar in acting is probably, for most, the biggest accolade out there, hence why, when it was smashing in the ratings, people would tune in because they're like, who's going to win this, who's going to win that, and what's going to happen here, and now the internet is around. If I don't agree with the decision, I can go on and I can rant and rave, and it's just, I still can't actually believe that it happened. I woke up and had a bunch of text messages from friends saying, did you see this, did you see this, and at first I thought they were kidding. Even when I went on Twitter, is always a place I go because it's good for news, I assumed that I would watch it and go, well, we can see what they've done here, good publicity stunt, but I do not believe that at all, and I actually feel quite sorry for all three of them. I do. I try and be as sympathetic and as empathetic as I possibly can. Chris Rock, I imagine, is a pretty tame joke, but that's not the point. It's not for us to decide whether it was a tame joke or not, because it's up to the person that is receiving it to decide it. I totally believe that. And really what we need to do is sit down and have a dialogue about it and try and figure it out, because maybe they're being too sensitive or maybe somebody did push it too far. But he doesn't want to be involved in that situation, although I did think he dealt with it very well. Talk about a guy that has a quick wit. Jada Pinkett Smith obviously felt very, very hurt by all of this, and you don't want to go through that again, especially if you've already had to accept you've lost your hair, which again it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it is in our own lives. It just is. Trust me, I've been through it. And of course, Will Smith, in what arguably is the biggest night of his acting career, some people are saying that he should lose the Oscar. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it'd be much better if we could just sit down in a room and again try and make the best of it, however that may be. And I don't actually know, I don't really follow this stuff sort of super closely, but and obviously they didn't do this. It was after the fact when they won an award and then stories came out. And I won't name drop anybody here, but I'm sure you can figure it out. There are, of course, people that have a lot of Oscars to their names that since have done terrible, terrible things. And maybe the Oscar has told them, no, you got to give that award back. I don't believe that is the case, but again, I don't know for sure. But I don't see how it helps now. I get it. Like, Will Smith apparently broke Academy rules, but he won that award fair and square, whatever the right term would be. I haven't seen that movie, the Serena Williams movie and Venus Williams movie, but everybody says, he's amazing in it. I do like Will Smith as an actor. I always have. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Pursuit of Happiness or whatever it was, and, well, there's a bunch of movies, right? Bad Boys, etc., etc. I'm sure he has made some bad films. Most of the time when I sit down to watch a Will Smith movie, and, to culminate your career, to get something that a lot of people are desperate to attain, they dream about obtaining it, to have all this nonsense around it, I do think it's a little bit sad. So if they can somehow, the ultimate thing, I suppose, would be that Will Smith keeps his acting Oscar. Excellent. Maybe we can get more awareness about alopecia and how it really can affect somebody's mental health. And, Chris Rock comes out and just says, you know what, don't worry about it, which will always, pop the bubble. People are going to be talking about this forever, though. Do not forget it. This is never going to be stopped talking about. And obviously the memes are out in force as well. I think my favorite meme I've seen so far is the Practical Jokers one. So you see the Practical Jokers cast, it's like a picture, and then they go, Will, go smack Chris right in the face. And then the final picture is them just laughing away like they do. I can honestly see it. If you told me this was a Practical Jokers skit, I would absolutely get it. But look, it is one of the biggest celebrity stories I can actually remember outside of, very sadly, people passing away. Much like Taylor Hawkins did, the Foo Fighters drummer. My word, that took me, that knocked me for six. I could not believe it. So I thought, you know what? It's Monday morning. Why don't we have a little bit of a talk about it? And to tie into the title of the video, given, I like wrestling, no, I believe this was pretty damn real. You ain't dropping F-bombs on the Oscars. Even if they had come up with this, somebody would have gone, we cannot do the F-bombs. We have to do something else. And I know there's pictures out there, apparently Chris Rock, gritting his teeth as if he knows the punch is coming. A picture sometimes doesn't tell 1,000 words. Sometimes you don't, get maybe he felt threatening body language and he just knew something bad was going to be happening. I tell you as well, I'm amazed he didn't strike him back. That's real. I don't think that I would, but I could totally understand if somebody instinctively just went pow, because that's what you would do, because your fight or flight syndrome kicks in. Either way, absolutely insane. And the last thing I thought we were going to be talking about today. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe with the bell ding ding so you know other videos are going live. There is a video on the screen. Please do give it a click. And I can't remember what else we do. We do stuff. Leave a comment, write whatever you want. Let me know what you think about this. Gridmind.com/Simon if you want to get some fitness stuff, some I like. Use code Simon to get 10% off. I'm also in Greg Doucette's Power 13 cookbook. It's a diet cookbook to help you eat better. Instagram and Twitter at SimonMiller316. Come follow me on there. Patreon.com/Simon316. Simon@thebigcartel.com. Cameo will be back on today. I turned it off for a few days because things were crazy with my internet, but thankfully that's all sorted so you can get a shout out. Otherwise, you take care of yourself and I'll see you soon.